There we go. What? How did I... What? How did I do that? I somehow muted one of my mics, but not the other mic. Well, okay, I don't have two mics. I have two mic settings in OBS. I record one raw unprocessed, and then one that has a little bit of processing, not a ton. But apparently I somehow managed to mute one and not the other, so then I could only record in one of them at a time. So I clearly messed up one of the hotkeys. Let's see, mute, unmute. Control plus insert. I doubt I pressed that. I very much doubt I pressed that. Why was that a hotkey I had? Maybe that's a default one. And then radio. Also, okay, I don't know what I did. Maybe I just manually pressed something in OBS. Anyway, hi Bep, hi Protocol. Welcome, welcome. We had to end stream fairly abruptly yesterday because I got a message saying family is visiting with like 5 minute warning, if that. And they weren't visiting for long, so I had to go entertain them for a bit, which unfortunately was like right when the stream was really getting started. So yeah, it was very abruptly ended. This stream will probably only be about a couple hours, but you know, we actually know that advance this time, as opposed to yesterday, which was just very, very sudden. Okay, so we need to copy this blueprint and then go look for like an average map. So we're just gonna do outposts. There we go. I think we saved in the right world. We haven't done anything in this world yet, but we need to see. We need to do some tests real quick to see if I can reasonably get enough copper and everything. So I'm assuming all of these get turned up max. And then we turn off uranium because we can't mine it anyway. I mean, we could have uranium on. It would just, you know, possibly might mess with other patches. Oh, I didn't do water. New game. Starting area size. That doesn't really matter. We're just going to turn off NUV bases for now. And then cliffs and water. There we go. Okay, that should make it a little bit better. Trees we can just decon as we need. But I'm trying to get a general idea of how large the world is. So we need to go to editor. Now I'm assuming these starting patches plus anything that's like reasonably close by is going to be our main base. Like most of these will be main base. Honestly, our main base is actually would cover probably these patches. So we need to figure out what we're gonna do about that. I think we just aren't gonna do anything about it. We might. Someone suggested possibly coming up with a design for close patches so we don't have to set up a train. I think that's reasonable. I think that's something we can definitely do. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure how useful it would be because we would need the way our trains are set up. They're not actually separate blueprints, so we can't really just like switch to them without breaking stuff, which complicates it a bit. Okay, so I feel like outposts will probably be somewhere around like here. So looking at the patches, maybe it's not a great plan to go for two patches per outpost. So let's see. This is the blueprint we're going for. So an outpost would be like this. So this would get us all the iron we need. And then we would get this copper patch and then the other copper patch. So to do that, I think we're going to need to actually split this into 3 blueprints to get a better idea. Why do I keep clicking it like that also? Okay. So we just want this part for now. That's one blueprint. And then this part. And then this part. Okay, we can get rid of these. Okay. When I'm zoomed out like this, the outposts actually don't seem that massive. I don't know, they feel really massive, but when I was designing it. But yeah, we could definitely get like, we could get this copper patch, coal patch, iron patch, whatever it is. Honestly, it might be possible for me to make my outposts a little bit larger, because these are some pretty large patches. It's like we could reasonably get enough iron from this. So, and then without like struggling. And like this is, we need one small copper. Like look how much of that patch is wasted with all of these. Maybe I could get enough iron from copper from just one. Because if I could get copper from just one, it's possible that I could just use both of these patches, which would be pretty nice. Like those are definitely things that can be hooked up. This iron patch is crazy. So if we wanted to do this, we would need 9. The issue is we would need 9 patches of copper from this, and that's the problem. We also, I'm realizing now that a lot of patches probably won't just be like one from each side. So maybe I should instead try to go for 2 patches that I combine into one and connect all from the left. How flexible can I make the patches? I guess we can have 2 bases, right? We can have 2 base designs that are pretty similar to each other, or we can just design it in a way that can be connected 2 ways. But if we were to go for something like this, this can do 238 drills. No, wait, what? This clearly didn't place a couple, but that's not a big deal. We're gonna get extra mining productivity, I think, to make up for that. The important thing is how much copper can I reasonably get out of this. I feel like 9 might not be an option in any way. Let's see if we just do like a lazy paste. So currently this is 200 drills. We would need to get about 360 for this to be enough copper from a single patch. So that's 256. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. Like even this, if we have this really weird giant circle, we can get enough out of it, but we're gonna waste so many inserters and belts because like everything here would be wasted. And because they're burner inserters, they don't really work in a circular design like electric inserters. Like you can do stuff to make it a little bit better, but it's still gonna struggle. So maybe I do keep with my original plan, because like going this far and then going this far really isn't that bad. And then for this patch, we can also, like, we could still technically use this. We could use this. And that's 2 patches that are really close to each other that are fairly easy to hook up, right? Like how much underground is this? So basically we go there, we copy that twice, and then we do the same thing with regular undergrounds. Okay. So that's only 70 undergrounds. Like it's only looking at the vertical space, but that's not awful. And then this design, pretty similar. Pretty similar distance. So 140 underground, red undergrounds, plus a total of about 150 yellow. How much does that add to the total cost? Rounding error, basically, for the undergrounds. The yellow undergrounds, so that's not an issue. Red undergrounds, it does increase the cost. It is 5 times more red undergrounds, but that's really not too bad. So maybe, you know what, maybe connecting 2 patches ain't so bad. I think we can live with this. Let's see if we can, maybe that was an outlier. Let's see if there's something a little bit worse. So this could be, this kind of design would be more of a problem. So this is when it starts to get pretty far. Actually, no, even then, this isn't that bad. Because like this right there is pretty short. Makes up for the fact that this one over here would be a bit tough to get to. And then this one's the cheap design too. The nice thing about burners though is that it's pretty hard to do accidental mix mining because they don't have that extra ring around the edge. It's really clear to tell where they are. Okay, so that's honestly about the same amount of belt as these ones. And that's 3 patches and not too big of an area. Like, how long does it take to run between these? Like, this is pretty reasonable. I honestly thought my patches were going to have to be really, really spread out because of how much worse my design is than an electric design. But this isn't too bad. And this is without any form of, oh, what's the word? Exoskeleton. This is without any exoskeletons. Now, for something like this, it would be really annoying to get oil. But these all can get like 300 per second, or a lot of these. So I might have to do some hand building and like delete. Wait, these are just placeholders. So these wouldn't be there anyway. Yeah, like it doesn't cover a ton of the oil. So this oil patch could go here. Actually, this oil patch can go here, this oil patch can go here, this oil patch can go here if I really want. Or this one can just do 2. It might be able to do that. It's hard to say. Most of our time with these outposts will be hooking up oil. I need to see how they do it. So I think I've seen they have a pump jack blueprint like this. And I'm assuming it's just so that way they can hold it and just like hold shift and make them all face the same direction. Which that is very viable. That is something we can do pretty easily. Because that is an incredibly basic blueprint. See, I don't think we'll have as much of an issue with that as I thought. And we could even use like a beacon in some sections. Don't know if those will really pay for themselves, but it is an option. But yeah, connecting 2 copper patches doesn't look like it's gonna be as awful as I thought. I think the biggest thing is we might need to make 3 to 4 different designs. Because like right here, obviously they connect exactly how I would want them to, one on each side. But then there's this one. So I could go around, but that adds a lot more belt. So maybe I need a copper design where it just passes through here. And honestly, that's a fairly easy redesign. The only thing we need to do is make sure that the roboports still connect. But if we just add an extra set of undergrounds, make it 4 tiles higher, bam, we have a different design we can hook up. Now that is more wasteful than not being lazy, but it's not that wasteful, right? So that's getting to the territory where it's like technically if I completely made a design from scratch, it would be cheaper. But this is how much cheaper it would be. Like 50 belts and like 14 underground wasted. That's all. It would waste the red belt going from here to here. Really not that far. So I think having that kind of symmetrical design would be really nice. So then we can just do that, and then we can do the exact same the other way. And then I think we'll have to make an arrow out of something. I don't really know how to do that, but showing us where all the connections are. So that way we don't have to think. Because we're going to have... Well, we'll have a left, right, and we'll have a top is probably how we'll describe ours. Left, right, top makes sense, right? So left would be everything comes to the left, right would be everything comes to the right, top would be everything comes from the top, or bottom. That part doesn't actually matter, but it just left, right, other direction. I don't know what letter we can use for that, but I think that'll be pretty straightforward how I connect them. So yeah, we just need to make an arrow out of something, maybe out of pipes. I know they use landfill, but landfill only works for the blueprint part. It doesn't really do anything on the ground to display what's happening. I'm going to look for more patches to make sure these just aren't like extreme outliers. Is there any way we could ever get both of those? No. No, because we have the train. Well, okay, technically, if we really tried, If we really tried, we could get both of those. But yeah, these patches seem usable. I think we'll just have to accept that some patches are pretty far. Now, in terms of roboports, I think we might have too many in our outposts. Actually, I don't know. 12 isn't that expensive. This entire thing is made with like 10 roboports. There's not going to be that many bots there, so that might actually work. What's the average consumption? Minimum consumption? 50. Okay, roboports when idled are pretty much free. So in this situation, how many roboports does it take to connect the patches? Okay, so that takes like 3. And then this one, we'll assume we'll connect them all from them. We could do this one in 3 as well, or 4. Cheese? Cheese? Cheese. What am I missing? Okay, so realistically, if we say 10 roboports to connect it, 10 roboports inside the actual thing, I think that's good. So that means we need 2 roboports a minute. That's all. That's actually not bad. I think we produce that. I'm pretty sure we produce one every like 10 seconds. So roboports are not an issue. I don't know. I really thought they would be. Honestly, we might be able to even add more for charging speed. But yeah, that's pretty exciting actually. I guess we haven't done this, but either way, that only adds like 5. But yeah, it's a cheeseless stream. Don't know what that means, but sure, it's a cheeseless stream. I ain't got no cheese. We're lactose intolerant here. We're not actually, but the stream is officially. It's officially declared. That hell of a bite. Welcome, welcome. I'm testing real world like patch sizes now to make sure that everything I've designed is in fact usable and not a waste of effort. And it seems like we're good. I could make a smaller design as well. So it wouldn't be great. I would rather not have to do smaller patches, but like these patches, they're not that usable, right? So like this one has the copper next to it here and here. So this could use 2 of those copper patches. But like this right here, we can't use this iron patch. But we could use this iron patch if our design was smaller. Or you know what? If I paste this, how many get placed? 240 out of, or 217 out of 240. So this is only 10% worse. If we can plan, if we can keep researching mining productivity, there is a good chance that we can make just patches like this work without any additional effort. And we could potentially redesign our miners, right? We can make them circular. Right now we are designing around no lane compression, which I think is probably a good idea. Just because the edges, they're not that usable with burners anyway, so I don't think we gain a ton out of it. Oh, now we're back to starter patches. Maybe that's why these look awful, because we're getting too close to our main base, where the patches aren't that spread out. Well, and then there's like huge gaps like this. But yeah, like right here. Here's an iron patch we can use. We can use both of those copper, I think, fairly easily. Okay, that one's a little bit messy. So we couldn't really use that one, but we might be able to put them both on this one. Like there is a possibility of getting lucky and having like one double copper. Or you could just skip it and go to better patches. I'm not really sure. Has anybody who knows like mega bases, does just having the world explored cause like huge performance impacts at like the level of 100% exploring? I imagine once you get to like really, really huge mega bases that have been going for a while, it's pretty significant. But like what I could reasonably do in like 10 hours, would that cause a massive hit? Because I guess that's the main thing. What I can reasonably do in like, actually not even that. It would be like 5 hours of exploring. Would that tank my production? Because obviously I don't want to explore too far, but we might have to. Yeah, I guess there's not really a way I could test that, is there? But what I'm planning doesn't really put that much of an impact. Okay. Because I guess this right here is like a fourth of what we need. So it would really just be a circle about this large. Also, have we even found biters yet? Oh wait, we just turned off biters. See, maybe I'm being overly paranoid. Because yeah, I'm assuming when who was it? Was it Dosh that did the edge to edge world? Like he built a base to the edge map. I'm assuming his performance was terrible at the end, right? I didn't actually watch the whole thing, but I imagine going 2 million tiles was not great for RAM. Or actually, what would the bottleneck be? I don't know what the bottleneck would be there, but it sounds performance intensive. But yeah, if it's not going to be too much of a concern, I don't think we need to stress about making like a perfect flexible base. I don't know, maybe someone smarter than can be to do it. See, if exploration was that big of an issue for 100%, they'd probably be no 100%. Yeah, but their patches, they can use a lot more patches than I can. But that is true. But the main thing is they can use significantly more patches easily. Cuz like they can use this whole patch like, and if they don't all place, I think it still runs like full speed or close. So they only need this and this for it to work. Or maybe it is pickier than I thought. I don't actually know. But I'm assuming they can have a lot of the drills be dropped and still have an outpost. But I guess they probably just accept that sometimes their patches run at like 95% speed. Like I imagine that is something that's fine at some point. Oh, there we go. Let's use this patch. Because let's see, the ratio is one large patch and one smaller patch, right? So they would just need to find one large copper and then one smaller iron. Oh gosh. You know, I don't think I actually have a 100% save, do I? I was wanting to see how much they actually explored in their actual runs, but I don't have one. But yeah, I like that way of looking at it. Makes me feel... Honestly, the size of my base is roughly the same size as theirs. And theirs doesn't like have a huge impact on their performance. So you had performance dips when you explored absolute giant chunk with a helicopter that also meant spawning a massive number of biters. Yeah, the biters are the thing I'm concerned about. I guess we'll have a few hours, a couple hours where we can maybe fight some biters and stop exploring, generating chunks. Would that be worth it? Should I cut all of my radars once I'm done with my base? Would that affect things? I don't really know how chunk generation works. Because obviously once I'm done with my base, I don't want to keep radaring. Maybe it won't matter because radars have a max range. I don't know how viable it is to reach that. But either way, I think I'm fairly content with my outpost. Now I am realizing this needs to be flipped for it to make sense. So how do we do that? That's a dumb question. There we go. Look at that, we flipped a base. And then this one will always be the left facing one, so we just need to take this and flip it. Okay. And one more here without the splitter. Okay, so this is a tricky one. I don't know how much entity cost matters here. Because placing half place undergrounds is kind of a... You know what? We're using red belts in so many parts of our base. I can't imagine that the underground cost is gonna be significant. I'm being paranoid about the worst things right now. We're just gonna... We'll go for entity savings, I think. I wonder if I could stagger these. Probably not. No, there's not enough space to stagger them. When a chunk is rendered, the radar takes a small toll, pretty insignificant. Okay, that's not too bad then. I was worried that they would like keep infinitely expanding to the point where like I've explored, I don't know, like twice as much as I'm using, but I guess probably not. Probably not, because exponential growth, right? Like, right, and the radars in the middle, I think, will stop exploring. Okay, so these need to connect somewhere. Yeah, that's the big thing. They don't expand infinitely. Okay, so this looks all right. We need to combine these two into one fast split. How balanced do I think these lanes will be? Because I'm realizing we don't need to. We can combine them into regular splitters, can't we? Or we don't have to combine them into splitters. We can sideload them. I don't know which is better for chest, for belt density. Is anybody who's done lots of mining? If these are roughly even, is there any difference between these in terms of belt saturation? Does one of them struggle with it? Or does anyone have an idea how we could test that? We're asking the weird questions today. The ultra specific ones. Okay. How do I do this? You know, maybe I should just connect it on the end. We're definitely going to have to do some manual connections, which is why I estimate it'll take about 10 minutes per outpost. It uses a lot more splitters if I don't have these on the end. Let's see. What if I send them over first? Okay. That needs to be a red belt. And then this needs to be a red belt. Okay. So something like that. And then fuel will be... I have it annoyingly on the top half, which I guess is fine. Maybe I should go a little bit farther, like here. That way I have more flexibility for it to not look awful. So like there. So something like that. And then if I change my mind about the splitters, there's a very easy conversion like that. Takes like no effort. We'll leave this over there just so I remember. But yeah, now I can just kind of paste these here. Don't know exactly how that'll work. I have the coal going the wrong way here. Or solid fuel. I don't know if I like it going that direction. You know what? If there's overlap with the base, I can make it. Like, if the only reason this doesn't work is because it's, like, right here, I think we can just manually connect those. It should take, like... Well, it's hard to say we'll be on a controller at this point, but it shouldn't take that long. Oh, but then this makes it annoying to do left and right. You know what? We're gonna make them output from the bottom. Because I want left and right to have the same connection blueprints, even if they don't necessarily... Yeah. Yeah, okay. I see the vision. I see the vision I have. I want to connect in the middle. And the only reason for that, or the main reason for that, is it will make using the blueprints a whole lot easier. We can move this up, though I don't know if that actually matters, but we can move it up. Okay. And then yellow bell would come in the middle. Probably, honestly, probably here. So something like this could work. That's split, that's split. We could also wrap it around at the top, but I kind of want this to have like a clean end on the top because it'll make it easier to place roboports. And then we could just have a roboport. We should probably have a roboport and a radar in this blueprint, so that way we can tell. That way we don't have to think about placing those manually. That would be a good idea. Okay, so this would have that connection. This will have this connection, and then this one. Ideally, I connect here. Don't know how viable that is. So that means now they can line up here. And then I think they... Yeah. Okay. So that puts the connection more in the middle. Makes it a little bit taller, but I think that's worth it. And now we can fit a roboport with a big electric pole. And maybe a radar. There we go. So that makes it that it will always be in range and I won't forget the roboports. Okay. Perfect. I doubt I'd forget the roboports for these, but, you know, it's nice to have it planned out. Okay, now there's definitely a cleaner way to do this. But I don't think that matters. So it's fine. I really like this one. I don't know why, but I like it. Okay. That's one. And then same thing over here. We realized the coal's coming from the wrong side. You know, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I think I just had a much easier idea. Yeah, yeah, I think I just had a much easier idea. Okay. Well, that's fine. We can test it on this one to see if I actually like it. So we can connect here. We can delete this. We can delete this. We can shift this over. Actually, no, we want this to be regular underground. That's what we've established. Okay. So then we could have it go up and start placing it in the others. So this will start one lane faster than the other ones, but I guess that's all right. And then here, here, and then we can just delete that, copy and place. Copy and paste. Okay, so this is one idea. We can delete these. I don't know which is better. I think we just have to look at the resource count, right? Between the two of them. And then this needs undergrounds. And then I'm not sure how bad entity cost will be here. So we have a red belt, yellow belt, red belt, and a yellow belt. That's very confusing, but it does make sense. But yeah, it's definitely definitely confusing. So red belt there, and then a yellow belt on the end. Okay, and then obviously we want to replace as much as we can here with undergrounds. But it looks like we can do a connection. That's not worth it. Like this pretty easily. So then when we connect these, they all hook up. Okay, yeah, this idea works decently. Now this one's a little bit hard to convert to splitters if I decide to do that. So that uses 8 splitters. How much does this use? It uses 7. That's not a fair comparison. Maybe I should take my original lane. Hold up. Yeah, we're just gonna make 2 of these. See which one I like more. Because realistically, they're not that much different. Okay, and then this is the one where we can delete that. We can delete these. We can go straight through, and then undergrounds. We don't really have a pattern we can copy anymore. Actually, we might still have it in paste history. Oh, cool. We do. Okay, so now this should be a little bit easier. And then we have coal on the right. Hello, Tice. Welcome, welcome. Trying to figure out which way I want to design the fuel connections for my outpost right now. I did some testing at the start of the stream to see if connecting 2 patches is in fact not that difficult. So it does look like our 2-patch design will work well. I'm not sure if it's necessarily better, because that's really hard to say without actually doing a run. But I think it's good enough. It will work well. I just don't know if it's better than just doing 30% more outposts. One of those things that just requires, you know, us to do actual runs before we can really tell. Yeah, exactly. Good enough TM. But this is what we have right now for our connections. Okay, 176, 183. 183, 176, 6. Okay. 182, 174. So this uses 1 more splitter. Okay, the cost difference is negligible. What's the height? Subtract 2 tiles from that. Okay, height is 48. And with this one, the height is 47. So it makes no difference which one I do. That's pretty much what it boils down to. That's good, I guess. I kind of like this one. I think this splitter setup here gives me a headache. This is really easy. If I have to change how this one connects, this one's a lot easier to do. So if I have to do a manual connection because these are too far away, it's a groove. It's good. Have you heard about Zasper's Glitch World Record? I did pull up the speedrun Discord today, and I saw that discussion. Had no idea what it was about. It was for wave defense, right? I just saw, don't know if this will be validated, and that's all I know. What's the glitch? Was it like spawning, like doubling starting resources or something? Like, what does it do? Ooh, wait, why is there coal there? What the heck? Why is this mining? How did this get fuel? What? Oh, from the like 1 second I connected it, right? But yeah, that sounds interesting. That's like the first time, right? Well, that I'm aware of. I don't know. I don't know what the olden days, but I haven't seen like someone try to use a glitch in Factorio to get a time save in a long time. And the only time I can think of is the only glitch I can think of is maybe the Steel Axe one. And then, oh gosh, what's the nobody used the red belt one. What was the steam engine one? Was that ever considered a glitch? Let's see, deconstructing crafters with bots doesn't reset productivity but gives you back your ingredients. Ooh. Wait, how does that work? What do you mean by this? How do you do that? Does it actually deconstruct it, or is it like a deconstruct cancel sort of thing? So one set of inputs can produce a full rocket. That sounds incredibly micro intensive. Is it micro intensive, or can you do it like with a batch of assemblers, inserters? Okay, so the thing I'm lost on, and how do you deconstruct it and have it still keep its productivity? Like, obviously this bar goes up, but if you deconstruct it and replace it, is it just like saved to that tile, or does it just not get fully deconstructed? Oh, okay, so you deconstruct it before they remove the actual assembler? They just like take the ingredients out? So does that mean you just like, as soon as the rocket starts, he gets like one plastic assembler and just spins the whole run, hand feeding the single like assembling machine or group of them? Because if so, that's hilarious. I hope it's that. That's fantastic. Anyway, I'm pretty content with this. So the only thing we need to do is shift this up 4 tiles, and then we can have a symmetrical design. And I might shift it up 4 silos in general. He did it with the silo? Oh, that's why you phrase it as crafters. Gotcha. 4636. What was it before? It was like 50 something, right? Okay, but I'm happy with that. Now we need to do oil. So underground's obviously for the oil we need. Is there a... Okay, so belt is cheap, pipe is not. That's a weird sentence. That's also a wrong sentence. What's a better way to phrase it? Pipe pressure isn't cheap. Isn't Twitch linking allowed by default? I wasn't sure what it was going to be. If it was a Twitch upload or a YouTube upload. But yeah, I wouldn't say by default. I have it explicitly allowed. But with Nightbot, it's not a default exception. Yeah, that's fair. I know like cliffs are allowed. I've never had someone just leak like a VOD before, so they probably are. But yeah, in terms of pipe pressure, if I can get this down to half the pipe, does that make a difference? I think the answer to that is no, it doesn't. Right? So if I pull up the handy dandy cheat sheet, fluids factorio, fluid system, it gives me a rough idea of how much pressure you can move. Okay, that's probably good. I wouldn't actually want VODs linkable, so it's not something I need to fix. That's. I wonder how I allowed clips then. I wonder if I specifically have clips allowed. Now I'm curious. Pretty sure I have those. Spam protection, links option. Okay, that's it. I specifically have links allowed or clips allowed. That makes sense. That does make sense. That seems like something I'd set up. Anyway, if I pull up my handy dandy cheat sheet, reasonably, I'm not going to be able to decrease it down to like 11 sections. I doubt even I can even decrease it to like 30 or 50. So we're just going to say we can move 1,000 pipe per second. 1,000 fluids per second. So this gives us two options here. The easiest solution. Wait, which one's inputs? There we go. So the easiest solution is to decrease the amount of solid fuel we produce. That will increase the start time of the outpost, but it means I don't have to connect two pipes. The other option is connecting two pipes. How much will it decrease the start time? Right now we're only producing 40 solid fuel per second. I think we've estimated this as consuming 10 of that. You know what? Let's just test it. Why am I guessing? We have the magical ability of literally testing stuff. Why don't we do that? And by literally testing stuff, I mean empirically testing stuff. And it's not that difficult. Especially since we've actually done the connections how we would want them to be done. Really? Missing underground? Oh, right. But yeah, I definitely, I don't trust bots. I trust no one. I don't even trust Nightbot. Mostly because I never remember exactly how I have things set up. But I also don't trust Nightbot. Okay, we can delete all these. Although I think it'd be better to just copy them so it's easier to rebuild it. Or I could have just made a backup save. Okay, startup time, no train. Okay, so if we run this full speed, I mean, nothing's running right now, but okay, it looks like we'll be able to speed it up pretty significantly. Okay, so we are going to rebuild everything. We are going to give it magical infinite electricity. And we need to make sure this side's connected as well. Okay. And then where's my magical infinite electricity? Perfect. Okay, and then I think technically we don't actually have enough oil, right? Why won't that give me a rate? Oh, you have to combine it with something. Wait, I thought you could get the rate of a pump jack. Yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. You only trust code you have made yourself, and sometimes not even that. Yeah, I never don't trust anyone, not even yourself. You know, it's a saying for a reason, right? Okay. We need to delete a couple more. We're trying to get it to like 1,000. Actually, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's just connect them through the same pipe, and then we don't have to artificially limit it. And then we can figure out how many assembling machines we can run later. Yeah, it's a much much smarter option. We're assuming no pipes or no pumps. There's still 2 pumps in here. Why are there still 2 pumps in here? Yeah, originally we had the pumps because we weren't really sure how fluid mechanics worked. And then we learned that you have to put the pumps really, really frequently for them to make a difference. You don't trust your code or your own. I guess, yeah, we can definitely interpret it both ways, huh? Okay, so 2820. That's very easy number. Very easy number. And then I guess we'll just keep placing more of them. And we'll just assume pressure's not a problem for now. Yeah, I mean it's clearly. Oh my gosh, we never set up the distribution network. Okay. Let's see. If the program is going to output "Hello World" or or set computer on fire and hack the FBI, yeah, I guess you really don't know. You definitely can't look at the code and see what's gonna do. No, it's a mystery. I mean, I guess for me it's a mystery, so I can't. I would never know. I feel like I would be able to tell if it can do a little bit more than "Hello World," but that's basically where the line is drawn. Top 2 don't work. Oh, I knew we fixed one half of it, but we didn't fix the other. Thank you. Okay, so this is difficult because we didn't actually set this up. Compressor. We'll go through here. I forgot we haven't actually connected solid fuel yet because we were gonna reroute where it goes. And then here. And then we wanted to connect halfway through the line just as a test, although I don't think this is really going to matter. I doubt we produce enough solid fuel for this to matter. This middle connection will only be if we import our own fuel. Okay, thank you for that, Arturs. I think we're good now. We are at 28,020. So we are testing how long it takes for stuff to get here. I think this is the slowest startup time section there is. We're expecting it to be at least half an hour, probably like 40 minutes. So fortunately, we only have to wait a 10th of that. No, a 15th of that, I think. So it's much better. Actually, no, like a 20th of that. So yeah, we don't have to wait an actual 40 minutes. It would be a boring stream. Okay. So solid fuel alone going to these is going to take ages. The issue is we just drastically decreased the amount of solid fuel we produce by like half. But the thing is, I think that's all I can reasonably do. So solid fuel is still moving. It's pretty close, though, to filling out the patch. Now, it hasn't gone to these at all. But it has a little bit. Okay, so we've backed up. It takes about 22 minutes. No, 28:02. Okay, so 25 minutes to fill out every assembling machine. And then at that point, it's probably not that much longer to start getting resources, right? Okay, so then it's about another 5 minutes to get coal. Okay, so that's about a 32-minute startup time. These are pretty close patches, but the distance isn't going to be that massive. I'm actually pretty content with that. I know it seems weird, a little bit weird to prioritize the assembling machines, but they have logic. The inserters have logic on them, and I would like the fuel to not break. I would like that lane to never break, which I think it's we've set it up to where it's very unlikely to break. It's fairly safe, but obviously I would rather not risk it if I can avoid it when there are very clear fixes to make it safe. By just making these start 5 minutes later. It's not like it's going to lose me 5 minutes of production anyway. It might lose me a couple minutes. I could just do a perfectly even split. Fortunately, that is incredibly easy to fix. Like, all we have to do is do that. It should be safe you made it. That is true. Well, which part did you make? Oh, yeah, you were the one who came up. Well, you're the way that came up with an idea for this that it could actually, like, unclear itself. Because I can only figure out how to do it by just putting it directly on the belt, but the double splitter idea worked great. But yeah, these are definitely. I think we fixed any inserter that was potentially risky. So yeah, 32-minute startup time. That's not bad. That is really not that bad. Okay, so now let's test if. We need to do math real quick. How do we do this? Okay, so we need. We're not using this many efficiency modules in our run. I'm just making that statement now. This ain't happening. Okay, so I think we just need a calculator, which I'll probably keep on this. It won't be on screen, but we need to add all of these numbers together to get an idea of how much train we have left for fuel, if that makes sense. So 2400, that's 48 plus 24 plus 44. Jeez, okay. Plus 12. Yeah, I think we had efficiency 2s because they were just in our inventory. And they were for refineries, so either way, like, we maxed out the fuel reduction, so I didn't bother. We'll keep them. Just as a worst case scenario, because I don't actually know how many efficiencies we produce. We might be able to use that many. So we're up to 12 stacks here plus another 12. I'm assuming there's not a better way to do this, right? Like, I can't just run this into a calculator that tells me how many stacks of items this is. Pipes is 5 stacks. Belts is 4 stacks. Furnaces is about 7, 8 stacks. Splitters are about 6. At least producing them is good for circuit. That's true. That is true. 3 stacks of steel furnaces. 3 stacks of inserters. We need all the stacks of all items. Yeah. We unfortunately need 3 stacks of all the power poles. That's annoying. 3 stacks of that. Oh gosh, that's like 9 stacks of chemical plants. 7 stacks of refineries. Only 2 stacks of undergrounds. That's not reasonable. We actually need to assume we have 6. 2 stacks of power poles. 1 stack of splitters. Everything else, we'll just say 5 for the rest of that. So our train needs to be 5 long at least. Oh my gosh. Okay, so our building train is 5 long. Could I do it? This is actually expensive? What, my base? Yeah. It is very expensive. It's mostly entity count wise. Like, cost wise is not the worst. But our base, we've done the calculations for how much we need to produce in our base. So, like, our mall can produce all of this. Fortunately. I just wasn't expecting the entity count to be, or the stat count, entity count to be so high. But I mean, it is like 7k entities. First outpost to bring back the base GCs for those efficiency modules. Yeah, they eat them for breakfast. I like that. That is pretty true, isn't it? Like 70% of the cost is green chips. Okay, so yeah, we need 5 train wagons. At least. Probably exactly. You know, we could just say 5 exactly. I have 27 free stacks of wiggle room there. There's no way we're going to bring 27 stacks of bonus belts, so that's we can just estimate that as that's what we need. Pipe count is actually going to get lower, I think, whenever we actually make it fix it. But yeah, 7,000 entities per outpost. It's fantastic. What are their outposts? You know what? They're high, but it's not as big of a difference as I thought. Now, admittedly, their outposts are also twice as good, so we're just going to ignore that part. We're just going to look at the fact that entity count wise, mine's only double theirs. But we are also aiming for twice the building time, so it's okay. But yeah, 200 stacks of items. So realistically, if we do a 2-8 train, we could bring 3 chests of fuel. Their entities stack better. I mean, that's true, but most of it is just the fact that we have to use so many normal belts that aren't undergrounds and burner inserters. Twice as many inserters. So I guess that does count as stack better, because they use one inserter for every 3 we use. So yeah, I guess that's still true. So about a quarter of the efficiency. Yeah, probably. Well, if you're looking at entity efficiency, yes. Yeah, production wise, our outposts are actually not that far behind. They're only half. But yeah, if you look at entity efficiency or UPS efficiency, that's probably a good estimate. It's probably a good estimate. Okay, so how large is my base? So we could theoretically do a train that is this long and not have any issue with unloading it. I think this is a little bit extreme. Okay, so that's not happening. That's a little bit too large. So let's do 2-8. I'm assuming, yeah, this needs to be double-headed. You know what, maybe I don't need to bring fuel. 252. Yeah, if I only bring building materials, 252 would work. Can we do like a 2? How many is this? 7? This is not impossible. 292, so middle one is simple for bots. Would that accelerate fast enough? 292. Oh, right, because these locomotives going backwards still run while the train is on, right? So it wouldn't like make it 4 wagons slower like I'm picturing, or 2 wagons slower like I'm picturing. Yeah, we could do either 293 or 393. Thanks for reminding me about the central one. And since we're extending it by like 4 tiles, it looks like we'll have a nice spot for Roboports to unload here anyway. No backwards locos? Oh, they only drag. Okay, well, never mind then. So yeah, we would either need to accept slower acceleration or just do 393. I mean, technically we have all this space to work with, and the cost of the wagon is only 1 time. So, I mean, the only downside is this would make it that loops would be really annoying to like turn it back. So I don't think we're going to run into issues. We just can't do a small loop and make it hit itself. So yeah, I don't know why I care that much about that. I think we're okay. So these middle 5 would be construction. These outer 2 would be building. Or sorry, these middle 5 we'd probably do as building to make it simple. These outer ones will be fuel. So that is 40... Backwards locomotives count as 2 wagons. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I figured that's what you meant by that. There has to be a better way to do that, right? So this should be the same amount as 4 wagons, right? 32 times 5 is the same as 4 times that. So this is how much coal we have to prime it if we want to make the wagon this long. I don't think we can justify it being that much longer. So for ease of filling, how do I want to do this? Is this reasonable? This might be reasonable. Because, I mean, they have 25 minutes to empty this, right? Uh, it only takes them like a minute. Yeah, I don't know if this is a reasonable amount, but it's fine. Oh, wait. We weren't ready to do that. Okay. Once more with feeling. Let's go. Okay. So yeah, if we do 292, it's probably going to have fairly slow acceleration, but honestly, we only build a building outpost once every 10 minutes. I probably don't care that much. Although they fill pretty slowly. Actually, they fill really slowly. We might have to have multiple building trains and we alternate between the two of them. Because we can't... I don't think we can actually fill the locomotives this fast. Maybe we'll be fine. Hello, Beb. You're a cheap viewer? Are you... Does that mean you're for sale? That doesn't sound great. Also, aren't you supposed to be playing a game? Well, I guess you can... I guess you can play... I guess you can do both. That's like 90% of my chat anyway. Why am I questioning that part? Okay, so... save this. Speed test. Sure, I'm never going to know what this means, but we only need to do this once. So 28, 31, 53. You're still waiting on more people? Oh. I'll be there in like an hour-ish, probably. Okay, so this theoretically should decrease the start time by a number. That doesn't really, give us anything. What is this, a theoretical run? I don't think so. We're trying to get start time, though. Trying to decide if it's worth shipping fuel. Me too, Chief. You just got 0 cents for watching. Nice. That's probably how much I got for the view, too. Good old rounding. Practically theoretically run. Yeah, exactly. It's practically theoretically a run. Okay, so... that... isn't working. It doesn't really matter that much. That's not the start time we're waiting on. Okay, how do we decide when it's all built? So currently we're looking at... we've been running this for 20 minutes. You mistyped theoretical? Really? Where? Oh, you meant instead of theoretically, you wrote theoretically. I thought you meant like this the base of the word was incorrect, and I'm just like, wait, what? Had to question how I spelled theoretical. Okay, so as soon as they're all running, right? That's the end goal. Yeah, I don't think shipping fuel is actually that helpful. Jeez, okay. Although it's hard to say because some of these aren't connected. Actually, most of these aren't connected. I don't think we did our connections correctly. Yeah, we definitely messed that up. Why aren't any of these connected? The word is spelled theoretical. Yeah, that's how I spell it too, for sure. Okay, yeah, I definitely messed that up. But something tells me that shipping fuel is not necessarily gonna be worth it. sorry, thyretical, thyrectical. That doesn't sound appropriate. But yeah, something tells me that the time save that we get from shipping 8,000 fuel is pretty negligible. Okay, so start time is still the same, right? 28, 31, 53. What is 8 minutes of production on one outpost? So I would save. I mean, that means if I make the start time 8 minutes earlier, that means I save 8 minutes, right? Like it's pretty straightforward. Is it even that much, or is it less than that because of percentages? I would say max it's 8 minutes because it's not like that would compound. It's just when that individual base backs up. I wish there was an easy way to measure start time. I guess that's one advantage to having it prioritized. But now that these are split 50-50, I think it's fair. Yeah, I think it's fair to assume that once this gets fuel, it's effectively started. How many inserters can I get going into a wagon? Because they need to fill in 10 minutes, right? And we can only move 1.6 per second. We might need to do what we did with the mining lane, where we have the inserters fill uh, have the inserters be self-filling and have like fuel on the belt. I think that would work, especially since they're going into filtered wagons. Honestly, we could even have the wagon be filled with coal instead of solid fuel, which now that sounds a little bit weird, but the advantage of doing it that way is that it makes it that I don't accidentally double fuel like the train. Like I'll never have an inserter back up before two inserters moved at once to move fuel, and one of them locks up, which we get a lot with our mining outposts. Yeah, we don't have filter inserters, which isn't a problem. We're just going to be outputting into. We are going to need a lot of chests, but we'll just be doing something like this. Oh, gosh, that's going to be expensive. We need almost as many storage chests as we need regular chests. Oh wait, these are almost officially started. Okay, surely I messed something up, right? Okay, maybe we didn't. Because if over 10 minutes we produce 17,000 solid fuel, how do I get robots into the roboport? That's easy. That's really easy. Voila, 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 and voila. And then these will all have 2 stacks of solid fuel on them that they unload last or first. I don't know which one. But every train will have 2 to 3 stacks of solid fuel on it to fill the inserters. This one will have them there. Or alternatively, we could do this. And then we just make the roboports non-priority. So we have a couple options. One of them is wagon priority based on the order the wagon is unfilled. The other option is loading into a chest and then into the roboports. So that part I'm not worried about. But yeah, that wasn't great. Why was the start time 32 minutes for that one and 30 minutes for the other one too? I guess because this one was constantly consuming fuel. I think we need to rerun the first test. Yeah, we can filter slots. That's what I mean by filtered. Like, that's what I meant by prioritized fill order. Prioritized based on the order that I do the filters. So yeah, it looks like we save 2 to 3 minutes if we can bring 5 entire wagons full of fuel. That doesn't sound like that much. I think I would much rather have those 5 wagons be filled with building materials, so that way I can fill the train faster. I think that will save me more. I think that will be better than anything else I can do. Now, theoretically, we're saying that a lot today because we're just looking at like maximum build speed. The largest train will have 4,000 entities on it. So 4,000 entities divided by 1.6 items. That is one. That's okay. That's 40 minutes if I only have one inserter and moving belts around. I need to do it in half that, right? I think I just need 2 trains. That's not difficult, right? Are building trains manually sent? Do they manually summon them? I don't actually know. But yeah, I think the only way we can make this work with burner inserters is to have 2 trains, because there isn't really a good way to fill and empty the trains fast enough to not do that unless we just have a really long train. So yeah, we can either do 2 smaller trains and fill them alternatively. They are automatic. Okay. We won't be placing signals, so 2 trains might be tricky. Long train's probably better than. I really wish we had fast inserters. They can fill trains so fast with stacks and stuff. The max. Okay, let's see. The fastest we can possibly fill a train is 1.6 times. And this is from belt to chest. That complicates things too. Okay, let's assume we back stuff up on the belt and we have a buffer chest somewhere else. Because we'll have a buffer chest. I don't think we'll be going from chest to train. Because this will let us get twice as much filling speed. Okay, so if we do chest to train, that means we can fill 8 items per second. So the biggest wagon would take. Ugh. Okay, so yeah, if we don't distribute things well, it could take up to like 8 minutes to fill a single wagon if we do chest to train. If we do belt to train, we could do 1.6 times 12. We could do that in 4 minutes. So then if we divide the high count stuff evenly, I think it looks a lot better. So maybe it's not a problem. Maybe we don't need to worry about it. Because 2 to 3 minute, 4 minutes is fine. It's not great. That means the train has to constantly be running. 4 minutes to fill, 4 minutes to empty. Yeah, that's not great. But if we look at our total entity count, the only thing that actually stacks that high is this, and we don't even have 4,000 of those. Total entity count is probably what we really need to look at. They really are the gift that keep on giving. That is so true. I'm glad they've given me so much content. They've given me like 100 hours of streaming, just complaining about burner inserters, but also having fun with them, but also just complaining about how slow they are. Could you hear that? I'm gonna blame burner inserters for that. I knocked a dice off my desk. There we go. And they rolled under my chair. Yeah, I figured it sounded like a pretty loud thud. But yeah, I use like an old keyboard case as like a dice box, and I play with Yahtzee dice with the tabletop group that I'm in. They're very low quality. Yep, exactly. 100 hours of streaming and screaming. Okay, so we got some worst case numbers. I should probably write those down somewhere. Physical sheet of paper? No. Yeah. Yeah, physical sheet of paper. 5 inserters. 8 minutes to fill wagon. 12 inserters. 3.5 minutes. Cool. Now, we tested the start time. I think we wanted to test it again, but then I decided, it doesn't matter. If it's gonna be 5 minutes, I don't think I can justify a fuel train. It's something we could theoretically add later. Or we could make, I mean, we could make a 16, a 4 train and just have 10 minutes worth of fuel in there. That just doesn't seem worth it to me, you know? Even though it's something we can do, I don't think it's something we should do. Oh, that was not right. There we go. Don't know why those are placed as ghosts, though. That was actually pretty weird. Okay. And there we go. Okay, so we decided we needed to shift these up a few tiles. That's not a problem. Now, unfortunately, the roboport's in the middle, so I think we're going to be pretty limited on how we unload into the roboport, but maybe it's not going to be a problem. Maybe we have to shift it over 2 more tiles as well. Which, again, not a huge problem, just something we have to think about. So for now, we're just going to shift it down pretty far. And we're going to do an underground. And this probably works. Like, that's probably enough space. Let's see. How would we unload into a wagon here? Or do we have enough space to unload into a chest? Yes, we do. Okay. There are some places where we might only be able to fit 5, but looking at our worst case scenario numbers, that's okay. You should make a mod that randomly removes fuel from a burner inserter. That's mean. Then again, I shouldn't expect anything less, but that is cruel. Okay, so these line up here, I think, right? Okay. That looks good. Happy with that so far. Oh, and then we need the roboport that we deleted. Big electric pole, roboport. Make it only use nuclear fuel. I have to hand feed my base until I can get to uranium mining. Only to realize I can't actually get to uranium mining. The perfect troll. Okay, that seems good. And then we obviously want one of these here as well. This is really just to make it that I can't forget to place the roboport. I doubt that's going to happen, because I also have to place all the roboports leading up to it, but I at very least want to make sure the roboport... Actually, you know what? I think it would happen. It would be very easy for me to accidentally place one here and not reach it. So yeah, it's nice to have one baked into the blueprint. Because it's obvious to see these are connected. It's not obvious to see where the robo range is here because it blends in with the copper. Okay, so this is currently the amount of space we have to work with for the train. And then, oh, wait a minute. We wanted to make the build symmetrical, right? This doesn't work with making the build symmetrical. We need another gap. Because the thing is, I want the train, I want everything to be slightly longer to make it that I can connect copper from either side. How important do I think copper coming from both sides will be? And, even more important, is it worth it? Yeah, I think it's pretty likely that we're going to get a lot of patches where I want copper to come from the same side. That seems like a pretty straightforward scenario. So we're going to move it down another 6 tiles, I think. That's not the right one. Okay, so this gives me room to cross it. I know we could have 3 blueprints, but I don't think I care that much about saving these 6 tiles. And honestly, I actually only needed 3. There's really no reason for me to overdo it, right? No, well, not sure how I'm going to do the fuel part of this. But yeah, basically the idea is that now, if I need to, these can go through here and connect to the right side. Well, actually, no, sorry, other way around. If I place this here, it could go through the right side. If I place this here, it could go through the left. Total size difference, yeah, 210 tiles versus 216 tiles. I think that is a worthwhile trade-off. If if that 2% increase in height somehow causes me to lose the run, I'll be pretty content. We'll design the pass through later. I don't really want to do that right now, but I needed to make sure I had the spacing first. Okay, so the way we did solid fuel, I think, worked really well. We did it with two splitters here, and then a spot for me to connect one later if I wanted. And then we go into a compressor. So this way, if I did in fact decide to bring fuel in, we can use it. Okay, I think I'm okay with that. Now this, I think part of our issue, this is actually more than a belt. So we actually need a pass through for this, because this can back up, right? So this is 49. This is 31. This is a whole belt. This is over a belt. And unfortunately, we are not able to use red belt here. What we could do... Let's see, where's the 30? This is 30. Okay, so we could have... Actually, that can just be a yellow belt. A yellow splitter. We can do red belt once it gets to here. We just unfortunately cannot do it here. Oh, wait. I think I have an idea. Short stretch of red belt here. And then this loses the D prio. Actually, that might not work. Because then this might never get... This will be the last thing that ever gets fuel if I design it like this. That might be okay. That's only 10% of our iron. But then we can connect the fuel... This is annoying. um, here. I think that's very important to do, because that is literally 30% of my fuel. Like, that's a pretty significant portion of my fuel that I don't want to lose. Is it 30%? No, maybe? It is 20 out of 80. It's about 25% of my fuel. Yeah, I think that's worth it. This is a little bit of red belt that I would rather not use. However, now that we have this design, we might be able to downgrade all of these to yellow belt, which does make it cheaper. You can't deprioritize the bypass, otherwise it won't work. You mean this one? Yeah. This one's fine how it is, I think, right? Yeah, because if I had a regular splitter here, it would break. Well, it wouldn't break, but... I mean, we could just do a regular splitter. So this... Oh, wait, I see what you mean. How do we... Can we just use a regular splitter? Is that an option? Like, without any prio? Honestly, that probably works. But yeah, you're right. The idea with this being prioritized the other way would have only worked in reverse, I think. Okay, so... Good catch. Oops. Okay. So with this kind of split, I would actually rather the splitter be earlier, so I don't have to use any red belt up here. Oops, there is not a pattern here. These do not line up as these do not line up well. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that adds that many entities, right? Yeah, it adds like 4 entities, but it makes the entities a lot cheaper. Okay, so that does a 50-50 split. So that means now there's 15 slots free here. And these are consumed along the way. So the 15 should be free here. Okay. Who to blame? What, shot to the heart? Did I say that? No, that's you're to blame. wrong, wrong lyrics. Okay, I think this is good. Honestly, I don't even know. I think theoretically, I think I think we don't actually have enough production for this much oil anyway. Factorio devs, that's true. Let's blame them. They made a great game. They did not make great burner inserters. Okay, so this is something that I'm unsure of. Actually, no, I'm very certain of this. There's no reason to have these spread out. I should have the chemical plants as compressed as I can down to one side to reduce the belt cost by like half. Because this is silly. And then this should be this is an entire belt, so that'll work. I mean, this was originally just a testing thing. We haven't actually looked into this and making it clean. It also doesn't need to be red belt anymore. It originally was twice the length until we learned that we could not, in fact, get that much fuel. Okay, and then if we look at the efficiency module cost, how much? What's the difference between these two? Like this is technically half the power, but how much of my power is consumed by these? I don't think I have any way to calculate that actually. Also, like these probably don't need efficiency modules. Let's go with 2 in each, and we'll have to calculate if we actually included those or not, because I really do not know. So that's 12. That is 32. Okay. So this doesn't really have any room for substations. Oh, but they can go in the middle. Perfect. Okay. Look at that. And something that can actually use full-length undergrounds. That's fantastic. That makes things straightforward enough. Okay, substation. Substation. And substation. Okay, and then if we want, we could probably compact this a little bit. Make it a little bit shorter by folding the middle one. I don't think it matters that much. But it is something that can be done. Maybe it will make it easier to get a RoboPort in here somehow. I don't know. I mean, it saves pipe, right? Yeah, it does save pipe. Yeah, okay, let's save that. Let's save that pipe. And they shouldn't have any pressure issues because these get consumed pretty quickly, right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have pressure issues with 15 chem plants. Hello, Cyano. Welcome, welcome. I think this is all right. Have we connected fuel to both sides? That is the main question we have to ask now, and the answer to that is yes. Yes, we did. These are all connected. Okay, that looks a lot more compact than it was. RoboPorts are going to be somewhere in the middle. Haven't decided where yet, which means we need another one here. Oh wait, this doesn't have an output. Well, okay. We might have to cut one of these chem plants just to fit a RoboPort. Because that's a nice spot for a RoboPort. It really is. It covers that whole section, and then we get another one over here where there's a gap. Yeah, yeah, I don't think we can skip that. I feel like I can definitely save on substations here, right? Honestly, substations aren't that expensive, and I already am producing enough. I don't think I need to be paranoid about that. These aren't going to be here. We'll get rid of those. You could just move the belt instead. Could I move the belt? What do you mean? You mean like instead of deleting this chem plant I had? Oh, and then just like loop it. That's true. Good point. I did not see that there. Thank you. Slightly ugly, but not the end of the world. Okay. And then we're replacing all of these with 2. Those are all staggered wrong. That's fine. We can just shift them over. Okay, so yeah, there's really not a great way to save pipes here. It's not a huge deal. If we do any savings, it actually makes it a lot more expensive. Right? I was so focused on not doing too much spaghetti for this type of run. I should never have gone against my roots. I mean, we're doing a lot of spaghetti, but don't get me wrong, we're trying to minimize it when we can. Ooh, that fits nicely. Okay. And that's barely in reach. Perfect. Would it be worth it to put something here? I don't know if it would decrease the footprint of it enough, but like in any usable manner. But we could maybe move one of these down a little bit. I don't think I care that much. I think the amount I save by making these chem plants really nice is pretty insignificant, so we're not going to worry about it. Unless it can save like hundreds of belt or something, but I don't think it will be that significant. I think it will be this looks a little nicer like it normally is. That's usually the savings that I get from stuff like that. We deleted our Roboport, but that's okay. And then we just have so many substations here that I don't really know why they exist. And then I also am very aware of the fact that we have way too many pumps. And by way too many, I mean one too many. We really don't have that many extra. And then we can't run these, so we can just delete them. There we go. And then we've decided, I think we're just gonna get fuel from one pipe. I think the amount of start time we get by connecting 2 pipes is not worth it. I think it will save us a grand total of 10 minutes on the run, but connecting extra pipes will probably add more than 10 minutes throughout the run. See you, Grizzle. Have a good one. Yeah, we had a lot more fuel connections here than I was expecting today. But we're definitely getting close. We've made a lot of good progress on our base. I'm pretty happy with it. Okay. We can delete all of the excess pipe. This is all right. What if we were to fold it? What all would we save? We could output from these directly onto a belt. That could be cool. And then we could have that be the bypass lane. So that's an option. Then we don't need to have the bypass lane. But the bypass lane adds such a small amount of belt. I mean, what does this cost anyway? This is pretty cheap. This is only... Like, this right here is only a quarter of our base anyway. Then, honestly, we probably can't run these. Yeah, we already have I think we already have 20% more oil than we can actually afford. And then for this, I think we actually want a connection like this that's really obvious where oil goes. This will obviously just decrease the oil pressure. I think. I guess not obviously, because I don't know how oil works, but I'm pretty sure that just is going to make it run worse. But not in a way that matters. Now we could save a lot of pipe here, but this is the thing where a lot of pipe, as in we could save like 20 pipe, but we make that 20 pipe like 10 times more expensive, which is less good. Which one has the shorter path? This one actually shouldn't connect at the bottom. It should connect at the top. That's a little bit shorter. Not a huge save, but, you know, no reason. No reason not to. Actually, we might be able to shift all of this down. Well, we'd have to get rid of one. But we can make... See, we could add one more here. I don't know. If we get rid of this one, get rid of this one and shift it down, it makes it more square. Does that matter? I mean, we've already decided that we can't run all these, right? Yeah. We already can't run all them. Actually, we don't even need to shift it down. Okay. I think I'm okay with that, right? Start time is going to be about 10 minutes. Or sorry, 30 minutes, as opposed to 22. If we do literally twice as many refineries, twice as many pump jacks, we can reduce it. Such a small amount. Okay, so let's assume these are all running full speed. How much of a power plant difference does it make? So that is 61 refinery. Let's just do 60 and 80. So 60 times 84 plus 60. Wait, these use the same amount of fuel. Oh, wait, no, that's because they're reduced different amounts. Okay, 42 and 84. Also, I think we can cut some chem plants, right? We can probably cut some chem plants now. Now that we've cut some assembling machines or refineries, we can't afford this many chem plants. I don't know how many excess we have, though. That says 790. We're short by... Oh, we have an excess of like 20%. We might not even need the bypass lane then. Because we can probably just cut most of these, compress it a little bit, because I doubt we can afford to run those. Yeah, we can't afford those. So we can just shift this down. Okay. How many are we up to now? Because it's like a 1-to-2 ratio, right? For chemical plants to... Wait. Is it a 1-to-2 ratio or a 1-to-1 ratio? That uses 10. That produces about 10. Oh, it is a 1-to-1 ratio. Oh, it's 1-to-2 in terms of size. If you just do them like with... It just looks like 1-to-2, but that doesn't tell you anything. Okay, so this is more close to what I can actually run. Am I outputting on the right side for this, actually? This is outputting on this upper side. Okay. The reason I'm doing that is to make it more balanced. I mean, it's 19 and 15, which is a little bit unbalanced, but it's not too bad. Honestly, I don't think we need the bypass lane anymore at all, because we can't produce enough fuel to need it. Because this is only 34. These are probably going to consume all of that anyway, at least for a while. Oh, look at that. We're saving... Actually, that didn't save anything. Some of them saved entities that way. Most of them didn't. Okay, but yeah, this bypass lane is now useless now that we're producing less solid fuel. Okay, so now we can just keep that as a supplemental lane if we actually bring things through the train, but Probably not something I need to worry about. I actually don't want this to go up. I think I want it to go through. Can it go through? Oh, no, it can't. No, it cannot. Okay, that looks all right. I think everything's powered now. I mean, I say that, but literally everything is blinking. Then our big electric pole's cheaper. I think so because we use less of them. So they're cheaper in the sense that we already have them naturally in more places. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so I needed to do a power estimate real quick. So with tier 1s, it's 84 plus 42. Or sorry, not with tier 1s, with 80% reduction. So 82 plus, or 84 plus 42 times 60. So 7.5 megawatts if we have, for fuel, if we have all of these at maximum reduction, or 15 megawatts if they aren't. Did I get an average consumption? I don't think I ever got an average consumption for the outpost. Obviously, everything works besides the obvious sign that nothing works. Exactly. But it seems good now. That's what matters. And then these will get speed mods. I don't really know how many I need. I think we're overproducing these now, so I think this is good. I mean, these are going to have pipe issues. I mean, that's kind of the whole reason we decreased the size of it. Although these aren't connected at all. Maybe you're right. Maybe there are obvious signs that none of it works. But also, like I said, the pipe throughput isn't enough to run all of these perfectly. Some of them can't run at all. Is the pipe pressure really that bad? How many of these am I reasonably running? Let's see. Chem plant. We're producing 1,600 per minute. What's the estimate for that? What is that actually in belts? 1,600 divided by 15 divided by 60? That's producing almost 2 full yellow belts. This, if they could run full speed, that produces 2 full yellow belts. Okay, so they're still catching up. I think we're okay. No, that number's really small. Well, now it's starting to back up. We had like a small window where we could test that. But yeah, there's not enough oil unless we split the pipes, which I guess makes sense. I knew that going in. This is 1,200. I wonder if it's as simple as just... I wonder if I could just do like a straight line here and then connect at 2 different points. That might work. Or just have 2 separate points that connect. I don't know. I'm not sure. I kind of want to test what this is right now, though. And then we need to see how much fuel we consume on average. That affects if our design actually works. Well, I mean, we already know our design doesn't work, right? Because nothing's connected, but, you know, when things are connected, maybe things work. I like the confidence there. Those are flipped. Then I think we flipped all of them somehow. There we go. And then I believe this was flipped at some point. I think we fixed that. Then iron seems to be connected. This isn't connected to power, but I don't think that really matters. Okay, so we need start time and we need average consumption, because those are 2 very different numbers. So we're looking at 282407. So start time affects, if start time, it matters how much fuel I give it to. It affects how many chem flames I really need. Oh wait, we never connected it. Whoops. Yeah, so start time affects if I or tells me if I need more chem plants or not. Because if it's more than like 30 minutes I'd be okay with actually. If it's more than like half an hour, that's a bit rough. Or significantly more than half an hour, that would be rough. So I would rather not not have it that high. We don't need a supplemental later. We don't have enough fuel for that. Okay. Nothing's been running yet. 28, 2407. And we just speed it up. But yeah, if the start time is over like 35 minutes, I think this isn't enough chemical solid fuel, and we'll just need to split the pipes. Because splitting the pipes will decrease the start time by about 20%. Like, legitimately, I think we can decrease the start time by 20% with that. It's not that difficult. And it doesn't require a ton of red belt either, just to get that 20% improvement. So that's something we could very viably do. Just because it would increase our output by about roughly 20%. But, like I said, I don't know if 30 versus 35 is a huge change. And then I need to get the average fuel consumption because that tells me how much power I'm consuming. Or sorry, yeah. That'll tell me how much power these are consuming on average. Because 15 versus 7.5 megawatts, that's how much they consume with two efficiency mods versus three efficiency mods. But that's a big difference. It's a very big difference. That's double. Except they'll also idle. Once everything backs up, these should idle by a very significant amount. Like, they'll spend most of their time idling. Okay, so it looks like everything has started. It's been about 40 minutes. I didn't stop it early enough, but everything's nicely backed up at 40. We're producing. Let's see, is that accurate? Is that our goal? It's hard to say. Let's see, 6.3 times 60. Yeah, that's pretty close. This is designed to produce about 400k green chips per hour. So I think the outpost is working fully. This browned out. What? Okay, so it looks like we do need to prioritize fuel over here. That is unfortunate. Huh. Okay, so, I mean, we can lose one inserter per batch. I guess it's not the end of the world. I like how much drill they're consuming. How much drill they're consuming. I like how the patches are being consumed almost perfectly. That means our ratios are actually good. Yeah, everything's running like almost a full belt exactly. I'm happy with that. I'm happy we didn't mess up our outpost since we first designed it. Okay, so now we need to look at solid fuel production. Oh, wow. So we're only overproducing by a factor of 2, it looks like. Because this would be while it was starting. We were producing about 1.6k per minute, which sounds about right. Now we're still producing about 740, about 800 per minute, which means this does consume power at about half the rate that I thought it does. Okay. Wow, that's I didn't realize our overproduction was, or yeah, our production wiggle room was so small. So is this per minute or per period? I don't know what value these are in. These would have to be in per minute, because that, I'm pretty sure that's the amount I'm producing per minute. Yeah, yeah, no, that makes sense. I've never actually known what the left values were. But yeah, we're consuming about 600, 700 per minute. So half of these run. So that is 6 megawatts. No, let's do worst case scenario. Let's say 7.5. Multiply it by 20. 150 megawatts are going into these. That's one entire power plant section. That's really not too bad. So yeah, one of our power plant segments is 160 because we do 80 at a time. Yeah, consumption is stuff being eaten. And I mean, ideally, they should be the same after they reach equilibrium. I imagine the values were different to start. Actually, I don't know why the values were different. Oh, because I was looking at the per hour. Yeah, it is. It is a shame we don't have nuclear because that would simplify. We wouldn't have to worry about the efficiency modules if we could get nuclear. Because like these, going from one power plant to two, like or going from 10 power plants to 11, isn't too bad. Without the efficiency modules, though, that would be going from 10 to like 30 more power plants. That's a lot. That's 20 extra pipe. No, 40 extra pipes of water or something. If we don't have the efficiency modules. Yeah, I think we can justify either way. And then these, I think, are actually a lot more. Honestly, these are more important than the refinery ones, actually. So we probably will keep these. I just realized this is the. We copied this design wrong a couple times. I thought we fixed it. But we just have a couple. We just have a couple of wire assemblers here and there that are set up wrong and have two efficiency modules. Solar inserters? Dude, solar inserters is you're right, that's actually a good idea. That would be really cool. They only run during the daytime. They would probably be pretty good for performance too. And maybe not, I don't know. I'm just basing it off like solar power is good for performance, so why wouldn't solar inserters be? But there's probably a lot more to it than that. I don't think I can make that assumption based on that alone. Okay, that explains why I had such a weird number of assembling machines when I first did this, because I was a little bit confused why I had like an odd number of inserters or an odd number of things that are produced in pairs. But that would do it. If I had 5 of them like downgraded to regular assembling machines. Okay, 66 to 150. I think the ratio is still off because they should be a 2-to-1 ratio, right? Or do I have some of them being shared? No, I don't think I have any of them being shared. Well, that doesn't make sense. Do we have extra? How do we have extra assembly machines? Aren't they a 2-to-1 ratio? Could have sworn they're a 2-to-1 ratio. 66 does not go into 155 though in any way. 1 to 2 to 1, 2 to. Do I have some green? Do I have some green chip assemblers that are somehow not yellow assemblers? How is that possible? Solar assemblers, but with half of a burner inserter speed. that that is a little bit cruel. Seriously though, how is this possible? That doesn't make sense. Gosh, why isn't there a better way to figure it out than to look through every single assembler? Like they are a 2-to-1 ratio exactly. So if we have 66, we should have like 130 something, 132 blue. Aha! I was right. We are missing some. Okay. I think all of my I think the iron ore that I need is still good. I'm pretty sure the resource count we have is still okay. Because I'm pretty sure I did math based on actual math. Math based on math. I think I did actual math instead of just empirically. So these upgrades should not change. And these upgrades also don't change the amount of iron we need, so never mind, it doesn't matter anyway. So yeah, we're good. These upgrades just change the amount of circuits we get for free. Perfect. Hello, Pam. Welcome, welcome. Okay, this makes so much more sense. Okay. It's still not... It's still not right. Gosh, I'm really bad at Where's Waldo, so this isn't a great situation to be in. We still have 6 more blue assemblers than we could. Unlike the non-mathy math. Exactly. Like calculus or something. That's not very mathy. Actually, that's a bad example. I feel like that one's fairly mathy. Linear algebra? Maybe? Or like differential equations. I feel like differential equations starts to get into not really math. It's just a bunch of squiggles. And then it just gets devolves after that. I mean, not devolves. It just gets to, it doesn't feel very mathy after that. Although I guess that's defining math as numbers. It would have been nice if I noticed this earlier, huh? That would be useful. Oh, is there, how do I tell the power consumption of these, by the way? Does anyone know? I think it won't give me a accurate consumption, will it? Also, let's pause it while we look. I know there's some weirdness with accumulators, but I don't know if it's that important. Maybe the accumulator weirdness is just that it's in like joules per tick instead of per second. Okay, I really do not see what I missed. Do I just have like assemblers in the wrong spot that are doing nothing? Do I have like a half assembler somewhere? I saw nothing, by the way. Nothing here seemed wrong. Where could these assembling machines be? Is there any plan on when you're going to run this? I was thinking September 1st, just because first day, first Sunday of the month sounded really good. It will be on a Sunday, not our normal me run day. I do know that much. Because Mondays I generally have stuff in the evening. April 1st, no, it's not that far away. Okay. How... How is the assembler count not right? Right hand side, 2 blue assemblers. Thank you. Okay, there's 1. You said there's 2? Where is the second one? The issue is that there's a pattern, but I don't know it. You said 2. Okay, so that bumps it down to 71 and 155. Okay, so that means there's only 1 more. So if I can find this one you're talking about, I think that's the last one. Maybe just 1. Okay. But then the important thing is that makes me less confident that I found them all. So it makes me more accepting that there's mistakes. We did it. We did it. We got them all. We got them all. Okay. Cool. Thank you. I am content. Okay, so how much does this consume? This whole thing consumes... Actually, this is pretty accurate, right? It spikes up and down constantly, which is really fun. So we have to look at the average, which is about 45? Probably more like 46. Okay, so if we do all tier 3s, that actually increases the outpost. Not tier 3s. If we do all 3 modules, that shifts it from 46 to about 50. Probably something like that. Yeah, that doesn't sound that important. We're taking out the duplicates. Okay. But yeah, thanks for the help, chat. I am, like I said, I'm very bad at those kinds of... I used to be good at them. I am not good at them anymore. I used to play, like, what was it called? We had a popular one. Where's Wallow wasn't popular here. Let's see, next time take a blueprint, remove everything but assemblers, then downgrade tier 3 to tier 1. What does that do, though? Does that just tell you where things are? Wait. Oh, okay, I get it. You would do it in like a separate spot, and then you could tell where it doesn't line up when you paste it later. Something like that. Okay, and then the last stretch. Okay. So now if we speed it up, let it run for a bit, if we look at our power... Yeah, it's not terrible. Average consumption goes up by 3 megawatts, which is about 8%. But we save 120 efficiency modules per 10 minutes. That's pretty good, I think. Because I don't know how many we're producing in our main base. Actually, we can get that number really easily. But yeah, this looks pretty clean. So we still need to do the trains, which we'll do next time on Tuesday. But I think I'm actually pretty happy. Oh, wait. Before that, we made this left. We have not removed all of the excess that were designed to make this symmetrical. Or not symmetrical, but mirrorable? Mirrorable a word? No, it's definitely not a word. We can pretend it's a word. That's definitely not a real word. That one was correct, actually. That'll work. Yeah, like all of these extra inserters. It's not a huge difference. These are very small savings, but they are free. So we might as well use them. And then we can do the same thing over here. We originally were leaving these because we weren't sure how large our outpost was going to be. So it was much easier to, you know, leave them in case I decided to make changes. But we're pretty happy now with the size of the outpost. It's producing about 400k green chips per section. I like how I fixed some of them, but not all of them. Okay, there we go. I think that removes a lot of the vestigial structures, and then we have some of this junk too to get rid of. I have no idea where this copper goes. Nowhere. What is its purpose? It has none. Oh, it probably used to feed the other side. Yeah, it had something to do with this side, so we can get rid of that. We can get rid of this. Yeah, that splitter didn't help anything. This does nothing. Wait, why is this in every single one of them? Oh, because we just cropped the bottom off, right? We haven't done anything to handle the edge cases yet. Oh, that's fair. Yeah, that would definitely help then. Okay, so we'll just we can just leave some stuff then. And there's probably some other savings as well. The only thing really weird about this is how I do this splitter in the middle. I could not figure out a way to save this red belt. Yeah, we can ignore that for now then. I know you did something in your original design where you like wrapped them at the end to go to an extra assembler just in case they got enough copper. But it never actually ran, so I don't think we'll need to do something like that. I think it's just because this one splits more evenly, though, because we're not using red belt. It was a lot easier to use up exactly the full lane. And then, oh, this connection. These need to be rotated the other way, right? Yeah, because solid fuel is going to come in the middle. So let's do that real quick. Yeah, that's not how I do it. There we go. That's better. Yeah, I don't know why I thought this would be hard to flip. Literally no reason for me to assume it would be hard to flip. Easiest thing I've designed. And also, I think I can remove most of these red splitters. Because originally this design was supposed to be expandable to consume significantly more fuel per second. Oh wait, that's actually, we needed that splitter. Nice. But yeah, the original design was supposed to consume up to 2 full red belts of fuel, and all it did was save 8 minutes of startup time. So that's why we kind of scrapped that idea, because that was not worth the significant cost increase of the outpost. So we have scrapped that, which means these can probably all be downgraded to red belt, yellow belt, which will be nice. Not like splitters are a huge portion of our cost, but hey, if we can remove them, we might as well. At least on this side. I don't know if we can remove them on this side. We at least need the splitter here. This doesn't need to be red, though. We can worry about that later. Then we'll just need to shift this over. Let's see. And then I don't actually have a prio that I care about here. I think this is just a 50-50 split. Yeah. Yeah, because all of these need to start at the same time anyway. We could prio them, but I don't know how build order will work, so I'm not too concerned with that. Okay, there's something I need to check in main base real quick, and that was the amount of efficiency modules I produce. So at the moment, we use 543. Something still has 3 modules in it. Or 1 module. I was like, we cannot get that many. That is not a number that we can... that is divisible by 2. There we go. That makes more sense. Okay. 538. Okay, so that is 5 modules, 50 modules per minute. That's 1 module per second. I feel like we don't produce that. But there's no way I'm off by that much, right? How many prod mods does it take? 288. I think we produce 288. I want to say we produce them in equal ratios. So I think we either need to improve our green chip production in main, or we need to accept that we're gonna spend like 10 more megawatts per outpost. I think that's okay. I haven't looked at my power in a while. Because the thing is, initially we were using all yellow assemblers with 4 prod mods in each outpost. Turns out that did not save that much copper. Like it made it that we needed 1 less copper lane total at the cost of like 5 times the power. Something like that. It was pretty significant. Let's see. This uses 1 megawatt. So unmoduled, it was a difference of 8 times the power, but that's just for the copper, so I think it was half that. So yeah, it was about 4. And compared to moduled, yeah, it meant about 4 to 8 times the power from the wire assemblers, and it gained us basically nothing. You only need to mod the last half of the fuel production. That's true. If I can figure out where the prio is, I can save... How many modules are in them? 120, 240. I could save 120 modules if I can prio them correctly. Which would probably be the left half. Yeah, we could prio that pretty easily. I don't know, would that prioritize the fuel in the refineries well enough? Probably, right? Yeah, yeah, because the fuel would take priority over oil. So the belts. Yeah, if we do the left half of the belts, that should work. That should work. Okay. So this is what we have. We are producing 0.7 per second. uh, oh, wait. Hold on. That is enough. Okay, actually, yeah, you're right. It is enough if we mod the last half of fuel production. It is not enough if we don't. So that actually like makes it exactly good enough versus not that close. We'll probably do a little bit to give it like because I don't like how close that is. Actually, you know what? Worst case scenario, we don't have all the modules. That's fine. I don't think I need to be that concerned about it. I love my naming system. Okay. But yeah, worst case scenario, if the outpost is slightly short on modules, we can just go. I don't know if we could clear the bot queue. I don't know if that would cause problems, but we can also just go around and add modules at the end. So if it only gets like 95% of them and we add the modules later whenever during our 3 hour gap at the end, that could work. And we might not have issues. We might not actually have power issues. If it's not enough, we don't produce enough. Yeah, well, when you put it like that way, it sounds silly. So all we have to do is this, right? Should I do a side loader? I mean, that should work. But yeah, when you phrase it like if it's not enough, it's enough. It sounds a little bit uh, rough. I don't think that was right though. Actually, for these, I can just re-blueprint. There we go. That's true. It is. It isn't wrong. So that is 297, and they're consuming 340. I don't think this is balanced correctly. Let's see. These actually, what's the ratio? We know it's 1-to-1, right? Yeah, that's pretty close. So this will make it that we get most of the power savings. And then if these keep running, these are only running like a few percent. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. That is, that gets us to the number we need, I think. 420, that's exactly how many we produce every 10 minutes. It's pushing it, which means we do need a little bit more production. Burner 100. Burner 100. Outpost. 380k min. Final. Not really final, but this is the one where we've been editing. Now we still need to do the trains, but we'll have to do that a different day because we have to wrap it up here. But yeah, I'm decently happy with that. We really only need a couple more assembling machines producing efficiency modules. I think if we just have a splitter somewhere in the base that sends extra green chips and extra red chips to like 1 or 2 assemblers, we can probably get this pretty easily. Because most of our speed module production goes into science. So once science stops, which it will stop pretty quickly after we get those speeds up, or once science becomes less important, we have significantly more red chips that we can use. But yeah, this looks good. It's been running for a bit too, right? Let's see if we actually are getting our green chip goal. Yeah, it's about 380k, I think. 6,200 times 60. Yeah, it's about 370, 380k per hour. It like has peaks sometimes, so it's kind of hard to tell. Like you can see gaps You can see humps where things like start. Although I think we're well past that point. Yeah, there's like a short peak where it produces about 5% more than it's capable of on average, and that's just because of how my fuel logic works. What is this? Portal? Oh, I'm not sure how loud that is. I'll have to watch that after. Just read the title. That's an interesting title. Oh, is this a Portal speedrun? Or a Sportal glitch? From 13 years ago? 13 years ago? But yeah, I'll upload this for anyone who's interested in it. We still need to do the train part. But I think I'm fairly happy with the bottom section. There's probably... No, there's actually not a ton we can do to save on power poles because these are used for logic. I was going to say we could, like, you know, move these. But yeah, logic passes through them. We can't. It's a run of E3 map. What's E3? That's, was that the old conference? Work in progress final route update 1. Yeah. Yeah, the way you name it. No, I see why you why you linked it. I just didn't I was curious what it actually was. But yeah, I like your naming scheme. It makes mine feel equally okay. I feel like yours probably has more logic to it where I just add words and have like final and like capitals if it's important. But yeah, that's it for me today. Thanks for all the help with designing the outpost. We'll be back tomorrow with space exploration. Probably, I don't know. I might work in burner stuff because I really do want to get it done in August. Although this is the biggest project that we had left, so maybe we're on better pace than I thought. Maybe we don't have to skip Sunday. Let's do at least do space exploration tomorrow. But yeah, have a good one. Peace.